I'm in my car and I'm about to go into a thrift store. I've been working on a project with my friend Litsa over at Coco's Crochet, and we are working on a project together, and I need to go into this thrift store and find some raw materials for it. So we are going to be doing a cool upcycle project and kind of a little bit of a challenge, and let's go see what we can get. Come with me. All right, so I just got out of the thrift store, and it's technically not a thrift store, it's a consignment store, so people make money off of it, but it's definitely thrift store pricing. I love to come here for clothes. You can try them on, and the clothes are all reasonably priced. So I got a handful of things for this project, and I got a handful of things just for myself. Let's go ahead and get home, and I'll show you what I got. As you can see from the footage, this store, their craft section is not strong, and it was a mess, and I did not get anything out of the craft section. It was a disaster. But that being said, after watching Litsa's part 1 of our 3-part collab, I've got it so much better than she does in the thrift store department. So I will have our first videos linked, so please go check that out if you haven't already for a little more context on what we're doing. She said that basically stuff in the thrift stores was just as expensive as new. It was more like you were just making a donation to that charity. So I do feel pretty bad that I had like a multitude of things to pick from. It kind of makes me want to like pack up a box and ship it to her. I want to start out by showing you in the doily section. I did pick up this doily right here. It's a little bit concave here in the center. I am going to give this a little bit of a soapy water bath. I just thought this would be cool with my plants at work. So I just thought it was very pretty. I liked the simplicity of it. I just liked that, and there was literally no reason for me to buy this other than I liked it and that it was 50 cents. This next piece I thought might make a cool accent on my project. I don't know if I'll end up doing it or not. It is a butterfly. I don't know how well you can see that, but it looks like it was actually maybe more of like a placemat or a table runner, and someone cut it. I don't know why they would have done that. This was also 50 cents, but I liked the butterfly, and it's a little bit stained, but for 50 cents, I thought it was worth trying to salvage. This again is going to get a little bit of a soapy water bath and just see if I can get some of the staining out of it, and hopefully I will be able to salvage this. I thought it might be kind of cool like as a patch on the back. I got the idea from this jacket at the thrift store, which, you know, obviously it was all commercially made, but I liked how it had the appliques, like the lace appliques on it. And so when I saw this piece, I thought it might be worth a try if I can fix it, and I was willing to gamble for 50 cents. The piece I got for the project basically just jumped out at me. And I feel a little bit guilty because it's almost like too easy. I did not plan this. So it's a cardigan. It's a brand I do not recognize. That's what it is right there. But it's this off-white colored sweater. It's got these brown elbow patches, but it has this top stitching, this dark chocolatey brown top stitching all around the front of it and on the sleeves. If you've made any of the fleece blankets where you take and you crochet around the edges instead of turning it into a tie blanket, you know that basically that's what this is. It's already done. It came this way for me. You know, when you make one of those, you take a skip blade to puncture little holes in it, and then you go through and you crochet. And this is more of a slip stitch than it is crocheted, but I can 100% crochet on this. Yeah, it had to come home with me. It was $6 and it's colors I like. I thought that was absolutely perfect. Now, what I thought I might do is take either this half skein I have of this big twist and possibly use that to do my first row of crochet around, you know, around this edge to make it blend a little bit better. And then possibly go with this lighter shade. Of course, I mean, they go together. They're both browns. I'm not sure. I might just use the Afghan yarn and do, you know, like 2 or 3 stitches in between each of these. I don't know yet. That will all be revealed in our last and final video, which is going to be the first Friday in April, as far as I know. So these were yarns I had on hand already. I did not pick up any of those yarns, the few yarns they had, because, I mean, you could see it was a disaster. Now, this was easy enough, and half my work is already done, that I almost felt like I got off too easy. So I did pick up a couple tops as well. I had picked up this shirt. It's kind of like a batik pattern. It's got some paisley on there. I like that it had a vintage look, but I did look up the brand, and it is a Western wear brand. It is not like a vintage brand. They are in production. So I got that just in case, because I thought that would be a good like layering piece that I could wear over a dress or, you know, over a t-shirt or something. But if I don't end up using it, I'll probably just use it as a layering piece anyway. But this was also $6, and I was absolutely fine paying that. Don't know exactly what I would do, but I do think, like, obviously, you know, cleaned up, something like this might be kind of cool on the back, but we'll see. This was in the men's department. It just says Easy Tiger. I thought it was kind of funny and cute. It is like distressed. I have no idea what this brand is or where this is from. And actually it is a extra large, so maybe it's not a men's shirt. Maybe it is a woman's shirt. But I just thought it was kind of fun and silly, and also had a little bit of like an 80s vintage vibe to it. I thought maybe I could chop this up a little bit and do a little bit of crochet work on here. We'll see. It is also possible that those won't work at all, and you will just be seeing this. I know this has been a lot more challenging for Litsa. Like I said, in Australia, it seems as though things are a little bit different as far as their thrift shops go. They just aren't as common, and they just aren't really the same setup. We would also love it if you are interested in checking this out, trying looking to do your own thrift flip, we both just happen to be doing apparel pieces, but it certainly doesn't have to be. And I know Sydney over at Sweet Pea Sid's Inspiration, after she saw our video, she decided to jump on and work on a thrifted piece too. And she just put that video out, so I will have that linked. And hers is not an apparel piece at all, but I think it is going to be super cool. If you don't have a YouTube channel and you would like to share with us what you're flipping and how it turns out, you can either tag myself on Instagram. It's Shannon Talks Yarn. I'll have that right here, and I'll also have Litsa's information for her. It's Coco's Crochet _, and I'll have those linked in the description box. But we would love to see your pictures. We would love to feature your pictures in our final video, which will be the first Friday in April. I had a ton to look at in this thrift store as far as clothes. Like I said, the craft department was kind of yucky, but that's how it goes. But there was still a lot of different, categories and stuff for me to pick from. Some stores are great, some aren't. I've got a store that I go to every once in a while, and the yarn selection is usually fantastic. But the last time I went, it was not. There wasn't like a single thing of yarn there. There was some spools of crochet thread, but no yarn. I thought I would show you real quick a few things you can look for at the thrift store, even if that thrift store doesn't have yarn. So obviously pricing is going to be different everywhere. Merchandise is going to be different everywhere. But these are some things I found that I know I will use in my projects. The first thing I found was this set of brass rings, and this was 25 cents for 4 of these rings. I'm not sure exactly what they are used for. They're not embroidery hoops, but I have seen brass rings like this in both Joann and Hobby Lobby. I thought that I could actually use these as bag handles, like 2 and 2, so like 2 sets of bag handles. Thought that would be fun, and definitely the price was right. But you could also do something like this. Oh, I bet these are for macrame. I bet these are for macrame. If everybody already wrote that in the comments, that's going to be funny, but yeah, I bet these are for macrame. But you could definitely crochet yourself some type of wall hanging with this as well. These 2 items were in the purse area of the store, and this store always has purse handles or like straps for 25 cents each. So I always look, and I just get colors that I like and that I think will go well with the stuff I have and that I might make. I do try to look for ones that have metal hardware and not plastic. I got some vintage buttons, Lamode buttons, 25 cents right here. These are copper. They were made in Japan. Les Chic washable buttons. They look like they're wood, but they must not be if they're washable. 25 cents. These were made in Italy. And I'm not sure where these vintage buttons came from, but these I've also paid 25 cents for. These are great for, cowls, hats, headbands, like whatever, like literally everything you can use buttons for. But that's so much cheaper than you would get at the craft store. I got these 2 Cover a Barrettes packs, and these originally sold for $4. They're made in Taiwan. I'm assuming this is like an 80s or 90s type of thing. Like you can kind of tell by the little outfit that lady's wearing there. It looks like you could fabric around this is what they're saying to do, but you could also crochet on this, or you could stick crochet to it. I think that would be great. And for 25 cents, I like finding these accessory type things because, I love putting bows on things. I just think it's fun, and I like little projects like this where it can kind of unleash my creativity a little bit. So 25 cents for those. 2 zippers. I have yet to do a crochet project with zippers. So I picked these up because they were 25 cents each. They're both 7-inch zippers. They are both white. I just thought for this price, if I were to screw it up, I'm not going to be heartbroken. So getting braver all the time about trying stuff out. And I thought I wanted to have these on hand in case you know, a project arises and I was feeling extra brave. They had other colors for the same price, but I just thought white would probably, I would be most likely to use. I got the tassel tool. So it says the adjustable frame for making tassels. And it is just a piece of metal. I paid 25 cents for it, and it looks like you can make it bigger or smaller. And I believe I can do this, you know, for my fringe on my project for my Karen makes that I've been putting off because I haven't wanted to make my fringe. And because when I do it, I usually take like a book and wrap it around. So I think this will work out. And yeah, it feels like it's brass. It's in good shape. And for 25 cents, I thought this was a great find. And the very last two things I picked out were in the jewelry department because brooches are such a great way to keep your scarves in place, or shawls in place. And I found this adorable little gold strawberry. I just thought that was awful cute. And then I found these gold leaves, and you know, these are just like pins on the back. So I did get a couple of these, and I paid, I think 50 cents or $1 for each of these. But again, I thought that was well worth it because, you know, if you've looked at shawl pins, they're kind of expensive. Again, you know, where like the wooden ones, those are pretty expensive. So I thought these were cute. I thought they were fun. And for the price, you cannot beat it. There are tons of things that are crochet related at the thrift store, even if the thrift store doesn't have any yarn. I am going to link Litsa's most current video where she is also revealing what she picked for her thrift flip. That was hard to say. And for hers, she ended up having to dig something out of the back of her closet that wasn't being used. So that's another great option too. Like if you want to participate with us, which we would love, but you maybe don't want to go to the thrift store or don't have time or whatever, go through your closet and find something that you aren't wearing because it's just not quite right and see what you can do to upcycle that project. And you might actually start liking wearing it. I am so excited to jump into this project and catch up with you again next month with our last and final update. Thank you so much for talking yarn with me, and thank you for joining me in the thrift store. I had a lot of fun sharing that with you. Take care.